What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. Today we've got one more thing to do in the Deep Dungeon, and that is to revisit the end and find the items that I didn't get last time because I couldn't be bothered to get them at the same time as dealing with trying to take out Eladibs and all of the pandas. I've more or less switched my party back to somewhat normal roles. At this point, probably the biggest oddball is Jessica, just because she's now mastered monk and ninja, and so she's kind of out of things to do. So I changed her into an archer. I figured I'd see what I can do with some strong attack power equipment and decent bow. And that's quite an odd group of enemies that I'm facing. Good for poaching if you happen to have that ability. I don't happen to. Oh god, that archer's gonna be a pain in the butt, isn't he? So, anyways, like previous levels, I am going to try and disable one of the enemies, but this time around it's not because of the fact that I want to find the exit, it's purely because of the fact that I need to find those items. So let's see. Gotta orient myself here. Looks like this is the proper orientation. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one item there. And there's one item there. Clearly I don't have this right. Hold on. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 5. There's one item there, one item there. Okay, that looks right. So we're gonna have to move on up this way. And honestly, I'm not too worried about the enemies up there, so I'm basically just gonna charge straight up. Although unfortunately this is not the best battle for an archer. Archers are good from the high ground shooting down, not from the low ground shooting up. Now let's see what Right, Zodiac has an obscenely long cast time, I forgot. Well, let's see what I can do with math skill anyways. Well, what height is that at? 13? And that's 15. Rams is at 5, but... screw it. Height 5 holy. That's the thing about Zodiac. If you don't have the Time Mage ability Short Charge, probably shouldn't even bother trying to use it. And Ramza might actually survive, just because he's got a lot of health. Oh right, he's also got a lot of faith. There's that matter. Oh well, we'll just have to revive him. Punch art? Why do I have punch art? We should have basic skill. Oh well. Now one of the things I want to talk about during this battle is the matter of Zodiac. See, learning it for one person isn't very hard, but depending on how A, completionist you are, and B, how many people and what people you want to actually teach it to, it can be a little bit of a tricky process. Obviously, I demonstrate that just teaching it to one person isn't super hard. But beyond that, trying to teach it to more people, the more people you have to teach it to, the harder it becomes. Because obviously, there's the matter of you know, you have to actually win the fight to be able to actually technically teach it to people. So let's go with that. Because, you know, if you learn it and then end up getting a game over, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good. So, and even beyond that, there's the matter of, you know, every person that learns it has to actually survive getting hit by it. And even if you do manage that, there is a chance that you will fail or just not learn it when it hits you. And so if you're trying to teach it to your entire party, at that point you run into the problem of, well, Elidibs only has so much MP. To be specific, he has, I believe it's 1200 MP, which is enough to cast it 12 times, I think. So if he does run out of MP, then you have the problem of either trying to restore his MP with like a turbo ether or something. But there's also a couple of other ways you can use to teach, to learn Zodiac. See, to learn Zodiac, it doesn't have to be Elidibs that casts it. It just has to be, you just have to be hit by that ability to learn it. But the problem with summons is, even if you target it on your own characters, summons don't do friendly fire, so it won't hit you. So how do you get around that? Well, there's a couple of ways. Let me just see if I can... Wow, that's a long charge time, okay. So one way to do it is to have your character get charmed, which, as you can probably imagine, charmed are confused. But as you can probably imagine, that's not the most reliable method ever. Because, I mean, for one thing, the person has to actually get charmed to begin with, which isn't something you can really reliably have them do. And the other thing is, even if they do get charmed, they have to actually use the ability, and they have to use it on you. Let's try and do sleep. So, getting a character charmed, it works, but it's not the best method ever. The other way you can do it is probably more reliable, but it's harder to do, which is probably a very confusing statement. But basically, what it entails is teaching the summon to an enemy summoner, which comes with a couple of complications. But first off, of course, the enemy summoner has to survive. So you have to give your own summoner has to have a very low magic attack, which is easy enough. Just change them into, I don't know, a knight or something. Of course, you do need to have enough MP to cast Zodiac, but you can give knights like a light robe or something. That gives them plenty of MP. So you cast it on the enemy summoner, they survive. Then what? Well, they have to cast it on you. And that, you know, that's a lot easier process to deal with than having to deal with Elidibs through the entire fight. I'm just gonna wait, this fight's almost over. I should actually move up a little bit. So yeah, dealing with a random enemy summoner is a little bit easier than dealing with Elidibs and having him teach Zodiac to 5 people. Of course, you might not actually want to teach it to 5 different people, but however many people you choose. Let's kill this Oracle off. Of course, Zodiac itself isn't really even all that worthwhile an ability, if you ask me, because, I mean, it's really powerful, but it's also, of course, got an extremely long charge time and extremely high MP cost. So, it's definitely not an easy ability to use. Which is definitely something to consider, because, I mean, there are very few situations where you even need that much power in a single spell. And a lot of times, even if you do need that kind of power, you can get it elsewhere. Is anyone low on health? No? Oh, she is. Let's give her a chakra. Bam! Now this fight in particular is actually a little bit... For some reason I want to use the word cheesy, but I don't know if that doesn't seem like the best word. But normally the type of fights that you fight on this map are much harder. What was I talking about? Oh right, the enemies. Because this is like technically you would probably consider it the hardest map in the game kind of thing. It's not that surprising that the enemies that you face here tend to be the hardest in the game, but this is of course kind of like a gimmick fight with all those Eurobos. Anyways, one of the items I'm looking for should be right here. That's not it. That's it, the Chaos Blade. That is the strongest knight sword in the game, if I'm not mistaken. And just wait a couple times. And the other item I'm looking for should be right here. And that is the Chirajaden, which is the strongest samurai sword in the game. And wow, that's bright. And anyways, with that, it's time to murder this wizard. And that is it for the Deep Dungeon. Now let's take a quick peek at those items I got. Oop. First off, we got the Chirajaden, which has 25 attack power. Not too shabby. Chaos Blade has 40? Whoa, I didn't think it was that powerful. Well, I guess I forgot it was that powerful. Anyways, with that, I leave you here for today on Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. Catch you later.